Hey everybody, I'm Ephraim. So I just wanted to talk about what's been going on in the news as of late, as far as with the military, and particularly with talk about revising the grooming standards. And I'm not gonna speak about how you feel one way or the other politically, but what I will say is I know that if or when the standards change to where you have to shave again, I know it's gonna affect particularly African American soldiers, men in the military. And I was in the military for 25 plus years, and the grooming standards were, we didn't have beards. We weren't allowed to have beards unless you had shaving profiles. And a profile is basically like a waiver. So if you had a medical condition, for example, if you got injured by running or something like that, you'd have what's called a running profile, where you were allowed not to run for a certain amount of time until you healed. The same thing applies with the shaving profile. You were allowed to grow, basically a beard because of pseudofeculitis barbae or razor bumps, basically, right? So we had to shave. And so I've had razor bumps. It's been severe. It's been crazy. And so for those in the military right now, if it comes to that where you have to start shaving again, I don't want you to feel like you have to jeopardize your career because you don't want to shave or you feel it might be put out, right? So I'll tell you a quick story. I had razor bumps throughout my career. It got to the point one time where I shaved and it got infected. My neck was swollen, looked like my thyroid was gonna pop out. And so I was like, you know what? I gotta do something about it. So I went to Sally's Beauty Supply and, I thought I was gonna make my own shaving cream, and I bought all these supplies, and I thought you had to shave a certain way, whatever the case is. And this elderly black lady was working in the store at the time, and she looked at me and she seemed pretty concerned, and she was like, "Baby, what are you doing?" And I explained to her, I was in the Army, had these issues with shaving, and thought my little research told me I had to make my own shaving cream and my blade and all that. And she was like, "Baby, it's not what you're shaving with, it's what you're shaving." And so she basically gave me the secret that I've been using ever since. And I've had minimum to no razor bumps whatsoever as long as I stay consistent with it. And so she told me to get two things. She told me to get a pair of good clippers. And here's what I have. It's called the Wall Peanut. It's a little small, but it's compact. And I've also had this Andis T-blade trimmer. I'm not really a fan of foil razors or Norelco razors because they still irritate my skin, but you need to get a pair of clippers that shave close to the skin. That gives you the appearance of a clean shave, but it doesn't shave under the skin where it irritates your skin, right? That's why I don't use the foil shavers. But she also told me to get a good hair conditioner, right? She said, you can't go cheap on it. You can't go get Suave or White Rain, go to the Dollar Tree. You got to get a very good hair conditioner. You got to spend a little bit of money. And you can tell if it's a good hair conditioner because you'll start feeling it tingle on your face when you put it on. But basically, I'll shave with the clippers and then I will use hair conditioner. I'll leave it on. If you can sleep with it, that'd be great. If not, just leave it on for a few minutes before you take it off. And in the morning, before I went to work, I'd get up early enough where I could put it on my face and then wipe it off. Because the concept behind that is the same way you put hair conditioner on your hair to soften your hair, you got to put it on your beard because how ingrown hairs work, especially for African Americans, it's curly, right? So when it grows out of the skin, it's coarse. And then when it curls and grows back into the skin, it pierces the skin. That's how ingrown hairs are formed. And so if you use the hair conditioner, the hair is going to be soft, too soft to where it's going to pierce the skin. All right. And so here's another example of what I use. But to each his own, just make sure you find a quality hair conditioner. So if you shave with a pair of clippers or trimmers or whatever, don't shave with a straight blade because a lot of times it'll get underneath the skin. And then use the hair conditioner consistently. You should see results as far as, the amount of razor bumps you get reducing dramatically. All right. And so that's just the tip I used when I was in the military. And again, I'm not here to say whether I like the policy or don't like the policy. I'm just saying, if it comes down to that and you feel like your career is going to be jeopardized because you have to shave or whatever, that's a good trick for me that worked for me throughout my time. All right. I appreciate your time. Take care.